Today's episode is all about faces. As the source image, I will use a masterpiece by famous German Renaissance artist Albrecht Dürer. I will recreate a portrait he created by using a group of faces. In a simple step-by-step process, I will lead you from the original graphic to our next image within an image drawing. I hope you're ready for another trip into the world of illusionary drawing, so please enjoy the program. Oh, hi, how are you doing? Great to see you back and welcome to the new viewers. Welcome to my art tutorial series called Drawing with a Drawing, Image with an Image. My name is Thomas Setnarowski and great to see you here. As always, let's start with a little quick recap of last episode. This is an image that we've came up with. It's a portrait of a bald eagle. Created with the help of a few elements taken off the Baroque period in time in art. A bit of a fashion, a bit of a architecture. If you like it, please definitely watch episode 4 called Baroque Eagle. And speaking of today's subject, this is a source image. This is something that I've selected. I like it. This is a graphic created by one of the most, if not the most, famous German artist called Albrecht Dürer. And my idea is to recreate this image with a group of small faces, a group of few faces placed within that face that will eventually build up what you see here. So the idea is to build an image that when you look from close you will see a group of faces, but when you step back you will see that. How am I gonna accomplish this? Well, give me a chance, I will try. Let's start our lesson. Today's episode will be built upon one of the drawings by the famous German Renaissance artist Albrecht Dürer, and as you see, it's a two-dimensional sketch, a portrait of a man, and based on that image we will create our today's drawing, today's image. So the first thing that comes to mind is how to hide our secret images within that face. I'm not sure if it's gonna be an easy task or not, but I'll give it a try. Definitely, I'll give it a try. So we will start with our first step in that type of images, and with the help of a sheet of tracing paper, I will trace the key feature of this piece, and there's a little difference between what we will be doing today and what we have done in the past. This is the first image based on the graphic, not based on the actual, like a three-dimensional picture photograph, right? So we will have to capture more elements in this case than in photographs that we used in past episodes. So let me try tracing the image. Just go along with the main features, but yeah, I think most of what we see underneath will be kind of important and very useful for us in our today's creation. So let's try to be kind of specific about the subject. If you would like to come up with an image based on the same graphic. It's very easy to find it on the internet. Just type in Albrecht Dürer graphic and wait till you see this particular one. I like it because all those face features are very kind of distinctive, very characteristic. The nose, shape of the nose, the eyebrows, an eye. It's very defined, and that's what I like about this image. There's no guessing. He knew how to come up with a portrait of his subject. So yeah, I'll be going and piece by piece, of course, emphasizing darker areas, just like right here on the nose. And once I'm done with that part, I will move on to the next step, and the next step will be loosening up our creative part and start coming up with all these faces that I promised you to feature in today's episode. So I will keep on transferring an image, and I'll see you in a few moments once everything that I feel like it's important has been captured. Right, I think I have captured most of what I think would be important for our next step. So let's see how it looks like with sorry, the reality kicks. It's a phone call. I'll see you right after I answer it. Okay, so whoever called me didn't say a single word, so I don't know. Maybe they're just checking if I'm working on the next episode. Yes, I do. I am working on the next episode. So hello to everybody who called me and didn't say a word. Anyways, our foundation is there. I will put a next sheet of paper just to kind of loosen up the lines underneath, because now we will be focusing on our faces that we will be working on. So don't forget about your anchor points in case you move, something happens and you're like, hey, I can't align my two drawings. So yeah, this is just in case. And let me start working and trying to find those hidden faces. So the first thing that I've noticed is this area. Kind of, these the lips are very characteristic, right? So they kind of like wrinkled up, and this reminds me of all these older hats that people wore in older times. So let's assume that this is kind of like a hat, and the beard, it's a perfect source of hair for our figure, right? So, okay, and this hat is going a little lower. So, how about if we do something like this? And this could be sort of like a beard. So, if this is a nose, and that's an eye almost covered by the hat, and that's some eyebrows, and that's our next eye, and let's do some mustache. That's the guy with a mustache. So all of a sudden, you see that this is sort of like a hat. Okay. And let's put some shading under. I'll be exaggerating, of course. Later, when you do the actual drawing, you would have to kind of be careful about balancing between the source image and what we kind of build on top of that image. But yeah, there you go. So we have a guy here. Okay, a guy with a hat, with long hair, and a beard. I don't know. I'll think about a beard, but yeah. So this is our first face, and next is an eye, and it also looks like. Okay, let's treat the eyebrows and whatever goes on here as another hat. The eyelid, it's a nice kind of base of the hat. Has some things going on here and there. There's an eye, and yeah, let's stretch up a bit, and yeah, let's try to kind of create another face here. Let's put the eyes just under the eyebrows slash head. That will be our nose and our lips. So there you go. Looks like we just found another face, a hat, an eye, and yeah. So this is our second head. So here we go. 1 and 2. So what about looking at closer, and that is at this area. So a lot of hair. So what if we start our next hat? Sorry, I'm basing everything on the head, but it works kind of for me, so why not? Why not to use the actual hair of the person as a hair of our mini faces here? So yeah, well, that's it. And yeah, that's a nose. That's looks like our next person. And remember, there's a bit of a shadow here, so it was sort of like continue. Of course, there's a lot of imperfections right now. I'm not kind of trying to create a perfect picture perfect a person, but yeah, there's our next face. And now we come to an ear. An ear has this very kind of distinctive lines, so let's treat them as another kind of head and height. I think that's gonna be a female, definitely. Let's come up with another face. So out of the blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 faces. We kind of used main features like a lip, a mouth, an eye, this corner, an ear. Of course, it's very loosely done. We'll be adding a more detail later on, but let's try to kind of use this area here to come up with another face. So let me try. That's our subject. What if we come up with another hat and another figure down there? Okay. A little kind of golden something, and yeah, that's another lady, I guess. Ah, a little decoration right there. So now we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. 5 faces. So it's looking pretty promising at that point. And all these areas without any feature, I mean, we can add more, but let me just focus on what I've came up with at that point, and move on to the next step when I will kind of transfer all these little sketches here onto the next clean sheet of paper, and we will start working on the final drawing. So I'll see you in a quick moment. Well, at this point, oops, okay, so that's when the anchor points come handy. The next step is to transfer that image onto the clean sheet of paper. So as you probably remember, I used 2 sheets of tracing paper, the one for the source image and then the one for my kind of interpretation and all these kind of faces that we will be building this new image around. So what I would do, probably I just need a piece of a Scotch tape and quickly kind of apply it to those two sheets so that they don't move around when I transfer them, when I'm transferring them. So just one more piece of Scotch tape. There you go. And now we save and we can start transferring process. So as always, for those of you who watch my past videos, you're familiar with the process, and if you did not watch any of the past episodes, please watch episode 1 where when I explained all the techniques, including what I'm doing right now, copying image from my tracing paper image onto the new sheet of paper. So you just apply a bit of a graphite, soft pencil, 3B, 4B, 5B. Don't press too hard, just apply enough so that when you trace it up, it will stick to the next sheet of paper. So yeah, just like that, easy peasy, quick process. And now we are pretty much ready to start transferring our initial composition onto the clean sheet of paper. Let me grab one. There you go. I think it's lined up properly, and at this point, of course, you have a chance to kind of move it around and make sure that you're happy with your composition. So in my case, I always try to have it sort of like in the middle of the drawing, and all that's left is just it's just tracing it up. So I use for that purpose I use harder pencils. This is probably a B pencil, but I would recommend H or H2 or H3, something that's more stiffer than soft B pencils. So yeah, let me start to transfer my image, and once I'm done, as you see, it will take a few minutes because of the number of lines and everything, and of course especially in the areas where we've created our new faces. So yeah, just basically go one line by line. Be patient. It may take a few minutes or a bit more than a few minutes, but the more precision you apply, the more chances and the more accurate your final image will be. And still, even though we transfer our sketch, it's still just a sketch. So at that point, if you feel like this face is kind of have some stuff that can be perfected or changed or anything, it's still a proper moment to kind of fix it, but might as well do it when you do the actual drawing. Remember, it's just a pencil, it's not an oil paint or something then that once you make the mark it's solid. You can always use your eraser, or starting with a very soft touches, apply new and new lines. So yeah, let me copy the image, and once I'm done with that part, we will start working on the final drawing, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be working on all the details and trying to make these faces looking like a real characters, in that case from the past. So please leave me a few moments for transferring all that stuff, and I'll see you right after that. Okay, so this is what we end up with after tracing the image from the tracing paper onto that sheet of paper. And just as always, we will start with kind of marking up the darker areas first. Of course, at this point, it's not only a source image, it's what we added up to this image. So yeah, I will start working on just marking up what's gonna be darker and what's not gonna be as dark. So the first layer, the first touch is just about marking up and make it a slight difference between what eventually will become a really dark and what will end up as not so dark. So yeah, I will kind of spend a few minutes on, of course, these are our faces, so don't forget about kind of touching up on them. Don't forget about this, but what I would recommend at that point, just focus on your new faces, on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we will add one more, but focus on these guys And once we have these faces established, we will start to kind of pull a little bit up the source image, but not really hard, just to the point when there is this balance between our images and what's in behind, so that um, uh, whoever sees the image will be kind of guided into the final concept of, oh yeah, I see face, but in the end it'll be like, oh wait a minute, it's a portrait. It's a portrait built out of faces. So as I said, just gently mark up the areas and work inch by inch. At that point, I wouldn't worry about the details. Yeah, you can kind of emphasize about, a few features here and there, but yeah, let me just kind of follow that path, and I'll join you in a few minutes when you'll see a bit of a difference between what I'm leaving you with at that point. So I'll see you shortly. In case of this drawing, unlike drawing that you've seen in my past episodes, where when I used to kind of jump all over the drawing, I like to kind of work on all these areas at the same time instead of focusing on one single area. But in case of this drawing, since we have few faces featured and few faces to work on, I will do the opposite. I'll be working on each face individually and moving on gradually from one face, jumping from one face to another. I don't think like I'll be kind of finishing them up 100%. I would say I'll be trying to do like 80% on each face, and when I have all these faces worked on up to 80%, then I will be finishing up and applying final touches and making some areas really dark and focusing on details like eyes and lips and stuff like this. But at that point, I'm just starting with this face, and we'll see where it goes. It will be a slow process, so when editing this video I may want to kind of speed it up a bit, but we'll see. At that point, I don't know. I'm just trying to kind of get the feel and see where I'm going. So yeah, please stay with me and enjoy what you see. Hopefully enjoy. And yeah, you see, once you start drawing, you forget what you were talking about. So sorry, but yeah, just think I'm getting to the point when I can call this image sort of finished. Of course, there is no finish in drawing. Well, there is one, but in case of drawings like this, you can just continue them endlessly and perfect all the details and all the elements that you feel like they need a bit more work. But for this purpose, for the purpose of this video, I think I came to the point when it's ready for the final reveal. So here we go. This is our today's image. So here we go. Hope you like what you've seen, and thanks again for joining me. If you like it, please leave a thumb up. If you have any comments, there is a comment section down below, so feel free to share any comments with me. And definitely please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more videos like this one coming up shortly. So yeah, and don't forget about our Facebook profile, Settner Studio, the link down below. This is the place where you can upload your own images, share them with me, share them with others, and we can talk about them, have a little conversation. So yeah, again, thank you very much. Until next time, and happy drawing!